I got a new phone. I'm in my kitchen, so sorry about that. Because it's so hot today. It's 27 degrees Celsius, which is around 90 degrees Fahrenheit, I think. I'm not sure. But the thing is, in Europe, in Belgium, AC isn't a thing. Like, no house has AC because every single house around town where I live is built in 1820 or whatever. My hair is greasy. I'm super shiny and I'm sweaty. But today we're gonna do a knitting podcast. Now I am in my kitchen, so I'm just gonna do like a quick little intro right here, and then we're gonna move up to my room or whatever when it cools down a little bit more. So I got a new phone and I just want to test out how it is to film on my new iPhone. It's an iPhone 13, which I am super excited about because I've had my brother's old iPhone 8 for like over a year now because mine got stolen at a party, and that was also an iPhone 8, and I had that one for like 4 years, I think. And the battery was just, it was dying. It's a good phone overall, like I don't mind. And so I just want to like try it out and see. Like, one thing, I don't know if this is gonna show up, but you see how my hand is like fuzzy? I think I installed my screen protector just like a millimeter over the front camera, so it's blurry on this half. But yeah, I have a lot of things to talk about. It's the exam season. I finished my second to last exam. My next one is next week, so I have a little bit of time today to just like relax. Okay, first thing we can already talk about while we're down here is what I'm wearing. I don't know, I showed it in my last video where I had like the summer tops planning video that I had, which actually did a lot better than the videos that I have. Like, now that I like picked up making videos again after a year, like it's usually under 200 views, which is fine. Like, I don't mind, but like I'm happy that the last one got 800 views. But anyways, in my last video I was working on this and now I finished. Now I don't know why, but I was like, I saw somewhere on TikTok somebody wearing like this kind of like crop, this overlapping v-neck thing from like the 2000s, and I love that, so I made it. It's just like 2 cups that overlap. And then I wanted to do something with lace because I have been really excited about lace lately, and I found like a Russian grandma Pinterest board with like a bunch of lace knitting patterns, and I just thought this one, and apparently it's called Old Shale, and I just think it's like, I love it. Let me give you a little close-up. Old Shale is like probably one of the most basic lace patterns there is. It's just a 4-row variation that's super easy to do. I could make a tutorial for that. I love doing that. And there's like, you can do multiple variations of this. You can like alternate how many purl rows you do and whatever to just create like a little bit of a difference. But I just love how it's a wave. So I'm definitely taking this on holiday with me to Crete because I just think it's so cute. The back, also I kind of improvised. I was thinking at first, because I made it in 2 different panels, because I wasn't like, I made the front first and I wasn't sure what I was gonna do for the back. So at first I was thinking, am I gonna do, like, I was thinking about doing an open back, just like making this part and then having this be open and then just have like a string or something. But then the front, because it's like tight lace, it just didn't stretch very much, so it didn't like lay open nicely. It stretched inward, so like this whole, like starting from, it was like a weird little flap in the front. Like, if I were to have the back be naked, I should have continued the lace like up to here or something, but now the lace only continued up to where the seam was, which was here, and so that just made it look way too naked. I look like Mia Goth. I look like I have no eyebrows. Like, I know I'm blonde, but this camera is doing weird things. Anyway, I feel like I should stand closer to the camera because then I look more normal. And then the straps are just regular I-cord. So I do think I want to make a pattern for this, but that's going to take a while because I'm horrible at making patterns. But you know, last week I have my next exam, which is my last one, and so from there on out I can just like do whatever I want. I think my arms are super long. So yeah, I think it's really nice. I'm gonna eat something and then maybe wash my face because I'm so sweaty and I don't want to break out anymore, and then I'll continue the rest of the podcast. So this was the kitchen segment of the podcast, which is weird, but see you in a sec. We're staying downstairs. Too hot upstairs. So I have my crate right here where I keep all of my knits and current projects and all that. So I just brought down all of my finished projects. There's not much I'm working on right now, so it's just a couple of finished projects. Okay, the first thing is the thing I finished first this month. It is the dumpster fire of a cardigan that you've seen on my Instagram and on my TikTok. To give you a little bit of background, you know how I made the Moby Sweater Man for my boyfriend? At first, I was making the Moby Sweater Woman for myself, but that turned out to be awful. I had never done cables before. I had never done faux cables before, so I unraveled the entire thing. Now the thing is that the yarn was like a big ball that I bought for really cheap, so the quality was not great. And I also thought, like, maybe I shouldn't spend this much time making such a gorgeous sweater when it's not going to be that nice of a not that great of a quality yarn. So I just thought, how about I just like reuse it for something of myself to kind of learn how to freehand a sweater, so that way if it doesn't work out, I haven't wasted like super expensive quality yarn. And so we made this. It started out as a sweater. I'm not gonna put it on right now. I'm just gonna talk about it before I put it on. It started out as a sweater, just like a normal raglan sweater. And then I thought, let me like I wanna practice my intarsia. Let me put a star on there. I did not realize that intarsia does not work that well in the round. Now you can work it in the round, but it was such a hassle that I thought, like, I'm never doing intarsia again. I'm never doing this again. I already did it wrong on the blue and white cardigan that I did with a star, so I was like, now I'm gonna do it right. But now I didn't keep in mind that this was in the round. And I wanted to turn it, I was like, it's gonna be easier if I do it in the round because then I don't have to purl and blah, 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 and I'll just steek it. Steeking color work in the middle is awful because you're cutting through all of your floats, and I did not realize any of that. So I'm not even gonna show you the insides. I literally, with a sewing needle and thread, I just basted the threads on there. It does not look nice. I thought maybe I should like iron on a patch on the inside or something because it's just disgusting. But besides all of that trial and error, I think the fit is really nice. Because this yarn is a cotton and acrylic mix, I told you it's cheap, so it was like, but I did like the idea of a cotton, but it was like a DK or even worse weight. So I like that, and I was like, maybe that's good for summer. So let me make a cropped bomber jacket like raglan cardigan. Now, because of all the messing around, a lot of like tiny little strands stick out, which I'm not a fan of, but I think the fit is actually nice. I do like the double collar. I also really like the single, like just the normal collar on the other cardigan that I did, but I think doing the double knit color kind of gives it more of a bomber jacket like feel, and because it's cropped, it sits like on my hip bone, so it kind of like rounds out nicely. I did wish I kind of had made the sleeves just a teeny bit longer, which I didn't. For the closure of the cardigan, at first I thought I was gonna add, just like I did with the other cardigan that I made that I freehanded, that I was gonna do a double knit button band, but I didn't want to do double knitting. So I thought, how about I add a zipper? That could be cute. So I thought, let me just make these, like I'll cast on, and I don't like the 1x1 ribbing that goes sideways. That's why I liked double knitting. But here I thought maybe that is okay for if I want to add a zipper. I'll just add a thin, I don't know if this makes sense, but I'll just like add a thin edge on the side, like I'll knit 2 centimeters of length and then fold that and sew it on the inside so it has this like kind of tube shape, and then I'll sew a zipper like this. I didn't end up finding a zipper, and I was very impatient, like I couldn't find it in any shops, and I didn't want to order anything online for such a small purchase. So I added these little snap buttons, which because I did not pick up the exact same amount of stitches on either side, one of the halves kind of bunches up a little because I added too many stitches, so it like frumples. So I'm gonna add like an extra snap button just to keep it closed here, just so that that it can overlap nicely. Yeah. Oh, and I tried to do an Italian bind off on the bottom, or no, I did a tubular cast off. Because every time I see people like Tiffany Lou and stuff, they talk about you should do like tubular cast off or Italian bind off because it just makes your knitting look like so much nicer, and it's just like a little bit more work. But every time I do it, I lose my train of thought of like what I'm doing, and then I'll be like out of the loop, and then my pattern is all messed up, and then I do stuff that doesn't make sense. Like right here it was like right, but then for example right here everything is messed up and it doesn't make sense. And personally I'm still not a fan of it, of the Italian bind off. I don't think it looks nice, and you just have to pay so much attention to the tension of the cast off so that it's not like too tight. And I don't know, you tell me, I'm not an amazing fan of this, of the ribbing on the bottom. I'm not very amazed by it. Let me try this on for you really quick. So I don't know if this is good enough, if you can see the bottom of it until where it reaches, but as I said, it reaches like right below my belly button, which I think looks kind of nice. As I said, the sleeves are a little too short. This one, when blocking it, I was able to make it a little longer, but this one remains kind of short. Now I don't really mind that. But one thing that I don't know how that happened, I think is with just all of the messing around I did, because I got a hole popped up on the double knit collar, so I had to like sew it together kind of weirdly. So there's this weird fold going on. There's like too much fabric. I like it when you close a cardigan just all the way at the top, and that kind of gets rid of the fold. But when I close the entire thing, as you can see, it has a hole here because there are too many stitches on this side and too little on this side. So I should add like an extra snap button to have it overlap nicely, and right here as well. But I hate sewing on buttons, and it always looks so ugly and it takes way too long, and I just don't like it. But it's super hot. It's way too hot to wear this. Jeez, I'm still sweating. I decided to go with a 3-stitch raglan because I just think that looks so much nicer. I have never in my life done a 1-stitch raglan, and I don't think I ever will. 2-stitch is fine. I did that for my Louvre. I am Belgian, I can just say Louvre. The Louvre sweater. But when I did a 3-stitch raglan for the champagne cardigan, that was just like life-changing. Oh, let me show you the back. This is the back. It's short, but I like it. Because I had in mind to make this into a pattern, which I'm not sure if I will, because I have done so many, I've maneuvered so much when making this that I just don't feel like it's fit to write a pattern for. Like I might make another one because I still have acrylic lying around. I might just like make another one of these and then like give it away or something like that. But I did really like the fit, and I did not do any German short rows on the neck because I wanted to make it beginner friendly and just make it easier for myself if I had to size that, because I need to like follow a class somewhere on how to write patterns and size it up, because there's just no info on it, and everybody just seems to know the math. Everybody just seems to have the golden ratio or whatever, or the holy grail, and I just don't, and I don't know how to do it. Like, I'm not good at math, but I'm not stupid either. Let me sit myself back down on my talk show chair. The next one I am super proud of. I've talked about this many times in my videos. It's the sweater you've seen the very most, but it is, so I'm gonna keep it short, but this is the Monday sweater by Petite Knit. It is in a emerald green by Hobby yarn. It says 100% wool. I adore this color. The whole backstory, or the whole reason why I wanted to make this one, is because I once on Petite Knit's story, she had a colleague or a friend wearing the Monday sweater in this gorgeous, gorgeous green, which I suppose is the Sanis Garn in green, but that was a little bit out of my budget. And I just wanted to make something 100% wool, and I was like, wow. Personally, I don't like green, not for clothing. It's probably together with purple, my least favorite color. So I don't know why this spoke to me so much, but it just did. And I think it is absolutely gorgeous. Now, the only reason why I was doubting to make this is because on Instagram, all of the people who made it, it seemed to fit them very differently from how it fit Meta from Petite Knit. And I was just like hoping, like I wasn't sure if it's because the sizing or whatever, but I was just like, I have a pretty similar body type to Petite Knit, like Meta herself. I think we have like a relatively small bust and whatever. So I just thought, I'm just gonna do it. You know, I'm just gonna do it. And it looks, at first I was like, hey, maybe I should just do the Louvre sweater, but with a double knit neckline. But I was like, no, I just want to make this one, because a lot of times my mom was like, I cannot tell the difference between these sweaters. How is this one different from this one? But for me, like I also tried to explain to my boyfriend, I would much rather wear like a simple clothing piece that I can wear for years and years and years, that just looks so nice and simple and goes with everything. But to me, I know that this certain like part of the construction is like special. Like, you know, for me, for this one, I just loved the fit. I just loved the fit, and I loved the 3 the 3-stitch raglan again on a double knit neckline, and I personally just loved the way it looked on petite knit with those shorts. But for example, I'm gonna make the sweater 26 this winter by My Favorite Things Knitwear, because I have never made a saddle shoulder before, and just that saddle shoulder makes it like look so different. It's just like when you're wearing a coat, you're just wearing a sweater, but when you take it off, it's that little thing, you know. It's or same thing with colors. Usually I'll go with very neutral colors because I want to be able to wear what I make as much as I can, and I don't want to spend like a ton of money on a yarn that I will never wear, because I can think something looks cool but not like be sure I will wear it way too much. So I like that very much with the champagne cardigan, where my base was just like a oat color, but then the pastel mohair I used had purple, green, blue, pink in there, but it was all very down-toned. It was all like very neutral. So there was a pop of color, but like in a complete outfit, it still goes with so much, and I just love that. So I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna put this one on. When it cools down a little bit, I'll wear it for an Instagram picture, but you just have to imagine it for now. But it's so pretty. I love it so much. I did kind of do my decreases on the arm a little bit too much to the front so you can see them. See, the decreases are, ooh, come on. Like the decreases are just a tiny bit on the front, but when I'm wearing it, it's like fine. Oh, and I did mess up kind of on the German short rows on the front, so there's holes. Every single sweater I've made has had German short rows. And just yesterday, after 2 years of knitting, I learned that German short rows, you have to do a double stitch thing, like where you slip it purlwise. I didn't know that. And I've never noticed because with my Louvre sweater, it's kind of scraggly. And it's just like, it's because I've never done this before. And then with my champagne cardigan, you don't notice it because there's a lot of mohair. But then with this one, I was like, ooh, why is this happening? And it's in the front. So that's like kind of sad, but it's not, I mean, looking at it from pretty far away, you don't notice it that much, or I hope you don't. And I did block this one because I thought blocking it would make it look a lot nicer. The next one was also made from a yarn that I recycled. I started making a wrap top, kind of with like a similar construction like this one, but then it had ties on the side, which I thought was super cute, and it was a wrap top that wrapped not only here, but like on the bottom as well. I just did so many things wrong when doing the whole construction for the straps and stuff, and like I cast on not enough stitches for the I-cord, so it bunched up way too much. But the yarn that I used for it was bamboo that I got on Hobby as well, but it wasn't by Hobby themselves. But I got that bamboo in my hands and I was like, I will never let go of this yarn. I will not, I don't care. This project, it didn't work out, but I'm reusing this yarn right now. So I started to unravel the whole thing. And I started making the boring shorts by Boring Knit because they went out of business or whatever, or they stopped, or they shut down their website. And I started making it, but the bamboo is like really, really thin. It's really thin. It's like almost lace weight. So I started to make it and I did not think about gauge. Once in my life have I made a gauge swatch, not for the boring shorts, which was a mistake. And so the whole circumference of the amount of fabric that is supposed to fit over my hips was about this much. This was the opening for my legs and my hips and my bum. So it's safe to say that I unraveled that as well. And instead, I wanted to make this top by Ruth Van, again, one of the main inspirational figures on my channel. But she makes it with long sleeves. And now there are plenty of tutorials on YouTube on how to make this shirt because, you know, people have picked on the trend. Just the whole pattern is trending because of Rose Fan, I would say. So everybody's doing it now and I love that for her. But the thing is, it's a pattern that is picked up straight from the Drops website. I'm not saying she plagiarized them, but it's a lace pattern that I found on the Drops website. Instead of trying to like recreate it from a photo, I just decided to do whatever I wanted and just use the lace chart and just use the lace chart from Drops because that way I wouldn't have to like pain myself on thinking about how to recreate the pattern because I just found it on Jobs. And so I started doing it. Now I did only have enough for a tank top kind of boat neck things without sleeves, which I actually don't mind because I was thinking I'm gonna make it with long sleeves, so it's kind of like a beach cover up, but I didn't have enough of this. But then on the other hand, I was also kind of like, thank God, because now I don't have to crochet sleeves, because I was getting kind of tired of this, because this is crochet and the first craft I taught myself was crochet. So it was kind of fun getting back into crocheting because I haven't crocheted in years. I love the way the pattern looks, but I just was not prepared to do any more sleeves. So I was kind of happy when I ran out. And I also did not want to expand my stash anymore and just use the yarn that I have instead of buying more, because if I were to buy more for the sleeves, I would probably have leftovers and then it wouldn't be enough to make anything else with, because I don't often make things with very thin yarn. So I just have like a ton of cotton that's left and stuff. Okay, so I would never wear a knit piece on top of a knit piece, but just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like, it's literally 2 squares sewn onto each other at the shoulders and then on the sides. And this is what it looks like. Ta-da! So yeah, it's flowers. There's not much I can say about that. I do really love the texture of this cotton. It's like silky smooth and shiny and like soft and airy and light, and it's drapey because of how thin it is. Like you need a lot, so it has kind of a weight to it, but it's so nice. I love making podcasts because I just talk so much, and every time I make a video that is not about me talking, and I'm just like, it's a video dedicated to something besides talking, I always end up ranting and doing like sidetracking, which is not good because that's a lot of editing work for me and a lot of me saying things that are not interesting for that video. But with podcasts, I love it that I can just talk and talk as long as it has something to do with yarn. But then I'll have to edit still, like I'll have to get through a 45-minute video. So I love watching Tiffany Lou's yarn corners, which are like an hour long. But I would hate to edit that. And I stumble over my words because English is not my native language and stuff, so I'll have to edit out. There's people who just upload the raw footage with a lot of pauses in between, but I like to keep my tempo kind of snappy. I like to add some editing just because I'll feel more confident in uploading that for myself too. So because I'm lazy, it's nicer to have not that much of footage to edit, but personally I do love watching like a long video podcast, but I mean it needs to be snappy. I don't watch a lot of podcasts myself, like knitting podcasts. I basically only watch Tiffany Lou's podcast. Like I'm not saying other people are boring, but for me, I just need some like young energetic person going like, and then I got this, and then I'm doing this, because I just love that. And I just feel like Tiffany Lou, she has a very similar taste in what we make. Like we have a very similar taste in that kind of sense, whereas watching somebody who is only making things that are not my style or not like colors I like is kind of less interesting. So I feel like Tiffany Lou is like the only person who kind of like really matches my vibe for that. And she also has her own yarn company and she buys a lot more yarn than I do, so I feel like that whole segment is a lot longer for her videos than I don't like show the yarn that I buy, because I'm a pattern, shape, and color fanatic. I'm not like, I don't have the funds to get excited about Issir or whatever. So I just like, I look at the material and I look at the color. That's the main thing. Brands don't really matter that much to me, and I don't know a lot about brands, so that's why I never show like, ooh, and this is the yarn I got this month, because I don't buy yarn every month, and because I only buy yarn when I have a very specific project in mind, and then usually I'll just go like, oh, I need this kind of color or I need this much, and I'll just like get it for what fits in my budget. I never go crazy about a brand, right? I love like Sisley, the brand that Petite Knit uses all the time, and I love Santa's Garden, and I just love looking at a beautiful hank. You know, when I'm being sponsored, then I like to take the risk of using like pretty hanks and then thinking about what I'm gonna make with them. But if it's my own money, then I'm a little bit more cautious because I want to be able to wear it a lot. And sometimes a hank can look really nice and just the colors can look really nice, but when you knit it up, it's not always what you thought it would be, or it just looks nicer as the hank. Like, you know, you would hang the hank on your wall, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, So I'm gonna get started with my last project. So having talked about sponsored yarn, this next project was made, or I am making, with yarn that was sent to me. And it is the Clematis sweater by Emma's Knits. And I did talk about this in my last video, how I was gonna make this and how I was super excited about it. And I am. This is what we've got so far. We've got the body and we've got the sleeves started. I did make it a little bit shorter than she said that we had to do in the pattern because I'm making the summer version. So this is a cotton silk mix with a kid silk mohair. And I decided to make it a little crop because it is made with summer fibers, and I just think it would look nice with summer outfits, a lot of high-waisted shorts and stuff. And I just have this vision. I'm going on holiday to Crete pretty soon, so wearing this while I'm in a restaurant late at night, it could be kind of cute, and I like it. And so, as I said, the yarn is sent to me by Hobby. Now, I will get into a closer, I'm not going to talk too much about this yarn because I'm going to do a full yarn review in one of my upcoming videos that has to do with Hobby, and I will also have a tutorial for another project in that video as well with another yarn that they sent me. But I'll just say this is the Kid Silk Mohair. Both are from Hobby Friends, and this one is the Cotton Silk. Now, I just wanted to have a Kid Silk Mohair because Emma's Knits suggested a Kid Silk Mohair for one of her yarns. I tried to follow the yarn suggestion as close as possible, but I just saw these skeins on the website and I just thought they looked so pretty, just like on themselves. This is the color Oat, I'm pretty sure, and this one is just like off-white. So the base is kind of a little bit more yellow than the mohair, but I don't actually mind that they don't match exactly, but I was just intrigued by the cotton. It kind of has this irregular structure because of the, it's cotton, but then like a strand of silk is wrapped around it. So that's why it kind of has this squiggly shape. And I was kind of scared that if I was gonna knit it up that it would look kind of squiggly and scraggly, but it actually does not do that at all. It knits up very nice. It's very, very even, and I just think it's nice. And the mohair is like relatively long, but I don't mind that. And there is just like this subtle shine in the whole thing. Like I won't be able to show you on camera, but there's this subtle shine to the fabric because of the silk in there. And I think it's like, cotton can be kind of rough and stringy, but again, because of the silk, it's like super buttery. I would love to make something just with this because I think it would knit up so nice and it's so buttery soft. I can't really like try this on yet because it doesn't look like anything, but the construction was really cool. The construction was a little confusing, not because the pattern wasn't written clearly, but just because I had to read it like a couple of times. But you attach, at first I thought it was a cardigan, but it doesn't open at the top. And so you're gonna have to knit the button band going like this, and then it can close nicely, and then the sleeves are going by really fast as well, and I just love doing a good short row. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. And I don't think I'm not gonna be able to finish it by next week when I leave, but I don't know if I'm taking this on my holiday either because it's relatively big to take in my carry-on suitcase, but I would love to wear this on Crete. Like, I'm probably gonna bring like a cotton yarn project just so I can make like a top, something small, so I have something to do. But I'm also like, I think I'm gonna focus more on like hobby-wise, like reading and drawing, because I'm gonna be on the beach and stuff. Like knitting is gonna be like a little annoying on the beach and whatever. So we'll see. I'll probably take something with me just to have something to do, but maybe it's not gonna be this one, so I don't know. Ugh, and with these, it's just so buttery smooth. It's just so nice to knit with. Okay, we're gonna end this video. It's still hot in here. Why is it so hot? Okay, so it's 1 p.m. exactly now, so I'm gonna eat lunch and I'm gonna head off to the gym. Hopefully I'll have, well, for sure, I'm gonna have more time this summer to make videos and knit and make my own shit and probably make a pattern for this top if you like it. Because next week is my very last exam and I'm super excited about it. Maybe I'll make a little vlog when I'm on Crete because my phone has great quality now, so I might as well. I also kind of like that I can film on this phone now, because I had to, with the other camera, I had to use my phone as a microphone, but when I had to talk, I had to put it away and then the quality would still be bad. So I hope that's kind of better now. I feel like it's a little too detailed, this camera, and it makes you look kind of crusty. You look like a deep fried meme with this camera. But it's better than my old phone. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram, you can follow me on TikTok, you can find my patterns on Ribbler and Ravelry. Ribbler is mainly for crochet patterns, but I publish my knitting patterns there, so I would really appreciate it. I am planning on opening an Etsy this summer as well, so I just have as many platforms as possible to sell my stuff, and then hopefully once I'll start making this summer, I'll start making some summer tops and some sweaters, like real garments, because that's my dream. That's the goal, to be able to sell my own garment patterns and not just accessories, because I'm so scared of the math. And then hopefully I'll be able to like study on how to size garments, because it's like super scary. But that's that. You can follow me on my social media. As I said, TikTok and Instagram are the most used. I've been like thank you for the extra followers on TikTok right now. I've gained like 20 in 2 weeks, which is crazy for the amount of followers that I have. And we're almost at 2,000 followers. No, almost at, sorry, what am I saying? And we're also doing really well on TikTok, so thank you for that. And we're almost at 2K on YouTube, so thank you so much. Thanks to all the people who subscribed since the last video. And yeah, I'll see you more and more this summer. So bye-bye.